lap 132. Craven the leader, Nemechek right with him. Here comes Lassiter right out in front of traffic, and they squeeze past him. Moment there. As the car that brought out the caution completed its pit stop. That's the yellow car number 5. Mark Martin all the way at the back of the field, along with Butch Miller and some of those other cars. There he is behind Jeff Burton. Mike Wallace just ahead. Those cars stopped and got tires on this caution, and Neil, we're still a little shy of halfway.
Yeah, that's pretty early. You know, a lot of guys are making gambles by pitting earlier in the race, putting their tires on their 4 allotted tires, and then just try to get some track positioning later when the leaders do pit. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. That plays out right there. There's Mark Martin up under the 8 car. They got together going down in turn 3.
And Ernie Irvin coming along right with him, who also made a stop under that caution. Up front, Craven and Nemechek are trying to sprint away from this field and doing a pretty good job of it. Now, they don't have to make a pit stop. It's not mandatory. Although 300 laps, it's a long way to go on a tank car. Irvin in the wall, turn 1, and he hit it a good shot with the right front. Caution, lap 137.
I've been seeing there we see Chuck Bound telling everybody slow down again. But I've been seeing a little bit of smoke out of the rear of the 4 car. I don't know what happened, if that had anything to do with it, but the last couple of laps we had some smoke coming out of that car.
That car had been a rocket, and again, it may help to illustrate the difficulties in coming from the back of the field back to the front in this heavy traffic.
It wadded it up pretty good.
Lap will go back to racing. We're still 8 laps shy of halfway. Ernie is okay. In fact, Glenn Jarrett's caught up with him. Glenn?
Ernie, terrific impact out there. What happened?
Well, you know, the only thing I could think is a 99 hit Mark and knocked Mark up into me when we were running there in the front. And, must have broke something in the suspension, and finally, whatever it was, broke all the way when we went into turn 1 and just went right in the fence.
Well, you look okay, but the car is pretty well torn up.
Car's hurt real bad. It's a shame. It's our favorite race car, and guys will put it back together. You know, I want to thank Kodak and Chevrolet, and all them guys back at Morgan McClure Racing will be ready to go come Wilkesboro time.
You can bet they'll have that car ready again, too.
Thanks, Glenn. We're back under green at lap 143. Craven at the front. And again, Nemechek right with him. Is Tracy Leslie trying to get back on the lead lap this time. And he's unsuccessful. You're riding with Chuck Bound. He's back about mid-pack. Running right up underneath Steve Grissom in the channel lock car. Let's see, Craven's the leader. Nemechek is second. Todd Bodine has moved up to 3rd. 4th is Tommy Houston. 5th is David Green, and so 6th is Grissom, and Bound was 7th. 8th is Bobby Dotter. He's having a good run here today. Around goes Tommy Sigmund in turn 4. And way up and in the air goes Bobby Hamilton, fighting for control, and he takes Mark Martin to the wall with him.
Boy, you could see that coming. They got up there, and then he crawled all the way up the side of Mark. He couldn't help it. There was a wreck that just started stacking up in front of him.
Yeah, that happened way in front of those 2 cars. They just got caught up in it. Hamilton miraculously can drive away. That car was way up in the air. And Mark Martin, the left front's going to be pretty crunched. In about a second here, you're going to see why, as he's ready to climb out. Trying to run his way up from the back. The belt's coming off. He's going to undo that radio. And the helmet. Still a picture of concentration.
Looks like he's okay, Mike.
Yep, tough day of it for Mark Martin. We've got 2 replays to show you. Let's take a look here at what happened.
We see the car turn around there. 21 car, Sigmund's backwards. Okay, now the 68 bounces up in the air off one car and crawls right up on top of Mark Martin. And once they get caught right there, I mean, it's done tore the suspension, the steering components out in front of both cars, straight in the wall.
Yeah, what would have been a harmless spin by Tommy Sigmund in 21. The 5 car was the jam in the sandwich, Lassiter, and then Hamilton got up and onto Mark Martin.
you know,
there they are on the fence.
Mike, if this ever shows us what we keep talking about, track positioning, these particular drivers had just pitted and went to the rear,
right,
and they got real fast race cars trying to work their way back to the front. It's so critical coming back through that traffic, getting back up front.
So for Mark Martin, the strategy of stopping early and trying to work track position through the field did not pay off today, nor did it for Ernie Irvan. We're under caution, the 6th of the day, live on TNN at Hickory, North Carolina. We'll be right back. TNN's exclusive coverage of the Mountain Dew 400 is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. It is still Ricky Craven and Joe Nemechek at the front of the field. Todd Bodine is third, Tommy Houston fourth, David Green is fifth, sixth is Steve Grissom, seventh is Chuck Bowen, eighth is Bobby Donner, ninth is Mike Wallace, and 10th is Jeff Burton. They are all Busch Series regulars in the top 10 right now. In fact, of the Winston Cup drivers that started this race, they're gone. All of them. All four.
I'm going to make a prediction that a Busch driver wins today. Will that go in there anywhere?
I don't know, but look at this. 3 wide down the back straightaway.
That ain't going to work.
Nemechek on the inside. Craven in the middle of the sandwich. Leslie trying to get a lap back. Can't do it. I can't believe they got through turn 3.
Well, they did, but at a very reduced rate of speed. They slowed them down going down in there.
And that everything didn't stack up behind them. Here's Todd Bodine for second place. Todd Bodine fully recovered from that horrendous crash at Rockingham, running hard on Ricky Craven now for third. The Fiddle Faddle car, 34.
We see Nemechek leading over there. He'd been all over Ricky Craven, and once he got away, I was wondering if he could put some distance on him, and he's doing that right now. Spin in turn 4 again.
And there are 4 of them as you look at the Napa Field standing update, brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts.
There was 4 plus 2. And here comes the leaders around. Whoa, me. And some guys trying to get their lap back, racing to the line. That's what causes a problem. Luckily, nothing happened coming back around.
Well, I think Robert Presley got one of his 113 laps back. Jack Sprague got one. Tom Peck was back there as well. Although I'm not sure if Peck might have been on the tail end of the lead lap.
As they went down in the 3rd turn, they just started stacking up, and they all got up there and just kind of parked the cars. They didn't have a lot of damage. All the cars cranked up and drove away.
Cars you're looking at now out of the race, although Jeff Green's gotten back in and Jim Bound, they haven't completed enough laps. Neither has Robert Presley to move up on the board. Well, we'll show you this one again. This wasn't just a sandwich. It was one of those Dagwood deals. By the time you got all these guys stacked up.
See him going down in the 3rd turn. There's the 8. The 8 car. Jeff Burton turned around. Shauna Robinson. 74 car because, well, then they just start trying to stop. And it's amazing how quick these cars can stop with the braking systems they have now. But they got them slowed down and nobody got hurt.
We'll be right back to Hickory live on TNN.